Yes.
All right, let me pull it.
I'm pulling it up as well. See, I have that same issue, Sammer. People can hear our audio right now.
I know.
As you,
I know. I did that on purpose.
Okay.
I'm ready to go when you guys are.
People can already hear our audio. I hate Tom Brady. I can't.
I fucking hate him. I hate his stupid fucking face. Oh, wait,
wait,
is this a live mic? Is
we're
this a live mic?
Shit.
Fuck. We fucked up. Shit. No, I love TB12.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sammer, along with my co-host Stank and Poppy Latte, and you're watching the Loose Cannons Live post-game call-in show presented by Red Cat Plumbing and Air, a Tampa-based company who takes pride in their reputation for timely service, professional results, and exceeding your expectations. They truly define #TampaProud. As always, the number to call and get your questions in is shown on the screen. It's 312-626-6799. When prompted, enter the code 9955204740, and you'll be in our digital waiting room. Don't forget the call-in format, of course, which is stating your name, your wing preference, wet or dry, and your choice of dipping sauce, be it blue cheese or shit. And of course, after that, your take or question. Try to limit it to 90 seconds so we can get as many callers in as possible, so you can be nice to your fellow Buck fan. Unless I have some sort of Panther or Saints fan waiting in line, then you can take as long as you fucking want. Now, we are joined tonight by a special guest, the one and only Al Keck. If you guys have been Bucs fans for as long as I have, then you know Al Keck, and that's been since I was like in, 5th grade? So I remember this guy on TV. He knows his shit. But before I let him talk, I have to get some shit off of my chest. We watched week 1. You guys remember week 1, right? And we had some experts come on, people who played the game, people who are close to the game, and they told us, listen, this team needs a little bit of time to gel. They need to, get those preseason type reps in, and that we'll know what this team really is come week 9. And when that happens, then we can see if there's any need for, or any cause for concern, anything that we should be truly, truly worried about. Well, week 9 came, and we all remember what happened week 9. And we kind of chalked it up to a bad game, right? We said it was execution. We said it was bad coaching. We threw it out the window. But we're now in week 11, and there are things happening. Now, listen, I'm going to preface this a little bit by saying we're 7-4. Okay, we are in Thanksgiving week, and we are in the thick of things. We are in the discussion for the playoffs. We're in a position where it'll be pretty difficult unless we flame out to not be in the playoffs. With that being said, though, this team has some concerns, man. And, sky's not falling. But it's a little concerning that we were told when this staff was hired about a year and a half ago, that we were going to work around the strengths of our players. And although the defense kind of figured it out last night eventually and kind of gave us a chance to win this game, and we were in a game against a good opponent, we lost by 3 points. It wasn't a fucking meltdown. I can't just ignore the fact that we are forcing players to do things they are not adept at doing. We're forcing them to do things they are not skilled at. It's like asking my 6-year-old to pull the car out of the garage. Could he do it? Maybe. I mean, he might be able to, push the start. He might be able to get it to roll out of the driveway. But the other option is that he might drive it through the garage walls and actually into the kitchen, right? So we have Jamel Dean. We have Carlton Davis. These guys are very, very good press corners. And yet we are asking them to do things they are not comfortable doing and are not good at doing. And that could, again, I don't know football like Todd Bowles knows football. Maybe there's something in the game plan or on the film for the Rams that says you got to play zone on these guys, blitz, Goff, and maybe make some decisions and not understand where the zones are. And you guys got, you got guys that are hiding out, in different areas of the field. I can understand that. But when it's not working, why do we continue going to it? Why do we not adjust? And why this team is not doing what they are best at week in and week out. The best teams in the league do what they do and they impose it on you. They don't adjust wholeheartedly to one scheme over the other scheme week to week. The Patriots are like the lone exception to that, but the majority of the time, you know what you do well and you do it week in and week out. And if they beat you, tip your hat. This team has gone in the last 3-4 weeks now and played zone defense and either failed to adjust at all or adjusted so late that it didn't actually matter enough. But why does Todd Bowles take this much time? Like, why are we waiting until after halftime to adjust and start pressing the wide receivers, disrupt the timing of Goff? And I know this sounds like I'm harping on these guys but they actually didn't play a terrible game. They put us in a position to win this game. But it comes down to execution and coaching. And execution, although I'm giving it a 50-50 blend of the two, it kind of goes with a grain of salt. You're asking guys to execute in a scheme or a position that they're not good at executing, which again makes no sense to me. Todd Bowles apparently is notorious for not changing and making adjustments since his days with the New York Jets. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what is going on there. There's stuff that we don't understand as fans, possibly. But that defense at the end of that still gave us a chance, right? And then we go back to the offensive side. This team is doing things that they were doing in week 1. The penalties aren't there, but the miscommunication, the inability to hit open guys, the inability to see open guys, all of it, just everything on offense doesn't flow. And I've never been a fan of Byron Leftwich. Not as a quarterback, and definitely not as an offensive coordinator. When he was given this job, I didn't quite understand why. I allowed him some room to grow into the job, right? We've all harped on it here. We've had the discussions. He doesn't understand the flow of a game. He just doesn't, man. And he doesn't know when to call certain plays, how to stack certain plays, and how to attack any defense that we face. It's just week in and week out, we do things that make no sense. We were in a close game, and we did not run the ball with our best running back. We have 2 running backs who apparently can't catch the football, but we were designing and calling plays to throw them the ball. If I'm not on tonight and I'm a 3-point shooter, don't throw me the ball and ask me to shoot a 3. Like, that's just common sense. Why are we throwing a screen pass to Leonard Fournette, who I've never seen him play a game as bad as he did last night? And the guy just dropped 2 in a row, and then you called a screen pass to him?
Sam, real quick, man.
What the fuck, man?
I'm gonna interrupt your rant here, okay? I mean, who are we gonna throw the ball to? It's not like we have a better option on the bench. You guys have already dug up and buried Shady McCoy.
Who do we throw the ball to? How about Chris Godwin?
He's talking about from a running back standpoint.
I don't need designed and schemed passing plays to my running backs when I have this plethora of weaponry outside.
That's what Tom Brady does. He uses his
That's
backs
fine.
as his
No,
outlet.
Tom Brady does that on his own. Tom Brady's not in the huddle calling a screen pass. If he's going to throw it to his guy as an outlet, I understand
Arians,
it.
Tom Brady's calling a lot of his own plays.
Well, you know what, man?
You hear that?
I heard that, and I don't believe that makes much sense to anybody in that organization right now, because that just proves to me they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It doesn't, dude.
It was the same with Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. He called a lot of his own plays too. It's not outside of the norm for a guy like Brady to be able to call his own plays.
It doesn't look like he's calling his own plays, okay? Because if he was calling his own plays, he would have called a quarterback sneak when nobody was over top of the center on 3rd and 1, right? There's just 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, either one of them, dude. We are going on a 3rd and short. We're in shotgun, and we're not even attempting to make the defense think we're gonna quarterback sneak. Make them think that. That's one play though. Calling design plays as a play caller to guys who are not your best weapons, like week in and week out, it's like, what are you doing? There's no creativity. It's stale. This offense doesn't fit 2020. It doesn't. If you want to talk about it being all COVID-y and everything going fucking haywire, yeah, then it does fit. But it's not modernized. It doesn't work. There's no motion. How many times last night did we talk about that when we were in the stands? There's no motion. Nothing. And if we do motion, it's Chris Godwin so we can come chip on the end on a run play. And I can see that from the fucking stands, and I'm a fan. And this sounds like, the sky's falling, right? But it's not, because we're still 7-4. But there are things that don't make sense when I watch this team play. From a coaching perspective, and execution is still there. I get that. But at one point or another, you can't just lean on the fact that you have talented guys. Sometimes another team with less talent will scheme enough that they'll bring that talent level down. They'll average it out. That's what we see with the Niners. That's what we see with any offensive play caller that knows what he's doing. Is taking guys who are less talented than what the Bucs have, way less talented, and doing way more. And then defensive schemes. I mean, come on. My guy's not always going to beat your guy. And if you're scheming to make sure that doesn't happen, then all of a sudden it's a moot point. We have no creativity on this offense. And this team, I've seen players need bye weeks, right? When was the last time you guys watched a game and thought, man, this coaching staff, they really need a fucking bye? And I think they really do.
I think we need to lean on some wisdom here. Mr. Keck, Sammer just took up about half of the show with his rant, sir. What
that was more of a ramble.
Yeah, what say you?
You know what? I have to be completely honest with you because that game happened less than 24 hours ago, and it's still been an awful long time for all this stuff to kind of sink in, and I have absolutely no idea what to say. I really don't. I thought that the game against the Saints, the second game, was a fluke, and they exploited again the same problem that appears to be cropping up with this football team. But I thought they would progress from there, and there were moments last week against Carolina when they showed that. But this is still a team that doesn't have its act together, that seems to be struggling at best. I think one of the problems is there seems to be a feeling in that building that we have Tom Brady now. Okay, so Tom Brady, we're going to just lean on him, depend on him, count on him to make all this stuff happen. And while I'm a Tom Brady fan, I'm not sure at this point in his career that he is the guy to do that. I think we're seeing that this season. I think he's still a very good quarterback. And when you look at his numbers still match up as well as just about anybody in the league. But I think right now there's only a handful of really great quarterbacks to where you just say, here's the ball, we'll follow you, you do it. And all this scheming and all this stuff just kind of comes into play. But bottom line, we're seeing every single week that when they play a good defense, that if it's a defense that can put pressure on the quarterback, Tom Brady just can't handle this right now. And the percentage of his throws downfield, more than 15 yards, he's one of whatever over the last several games, and just can't do this or do that. Bottom line is that left side of the offensive line has just become a sieve, and opposing teams know that. And this team misses Ali Marpet like you would not believe. That's not to say that Ryan Jensen and Shipley didn't do whatever they could to be as effective as possible. But Donovan Smith just is not an effective left tackle in this league. And we saw that we've seen that throughout every single loss this season. And we've seen that throughout some of the other games, this season. So until you somehow, some way fix that problem, every good defense is going to do the same thing to the Buccaneers, and that's just going to back everything up. That's going to keep the Bucs defense on the field too long. This young secondary simply is still young. And Cooper Kupp was the best player on the field last night.
Now they had two receivers with over 10 receptions in the third quarter. They were just doing whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. Short game, long game, intermediate. Didn't matter if we were in man or zone. they had us, they had all the answers last night until later in the game when Bowles, had the guys just really playing press, making a lot of contact up at the line of scrimmage, gambling a little bit, which he doesn't seem to be comfortable doing unless we get into desperate situations.
I agree. Robert Woods had a huge night.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I go back to the fact that to me, it still all starts with the offensive line. And once the offensive line, if it can ever make up for the problems that they have at left tackle, teams are just going to exploit that. And we've seen that. We've seen the Saints do it twice. We've seen the Bears do it. We've seen the Giants do it. We've seen, so-so teams have success pounding that left side of the Buccaneer offensive line. And until they clean that up, this is going to be a team that on any given night, you just kind of roll out the dice and see what's going to happen. I'm surprised with where they are right now at this point. I didn't expect to see that. And standing at 7-4, and believe me, I'm a guy that got here in 1988. I haven't seen a whole lot of 7-4s over the years. But this is a 7-4 to where for the first time, I'm starting to think, well, maybe this is not a year that they're going to make this playoff. So, they're not going to make these NFC playoffs. Until they can get to the point where they can improve offensively and make that defense not have to make every single play in a game. I think it is a good defense, but that secondary is still very young, and they could not stop Kupp. They could not stop Woods. And here they really held the Rams down in the second half as far as yardage is concerned. But when they needed to make that drive and when they needed to make a play in order to kick a go-ahead or game-winning field goal, they did it. And 9 times out of 10, it was either going to Woods or it was going to Kupp.
Latte, you look like you're about to explode, sir.
I've been really quiet. I'm never this quiet for this long. I mean, we've been on, I don't know how long. I haven't said anything. I let Sammer have his so-called rant that almost put me to sleep. It was more like a ramble. You just rambled on and on and on. It wasn't really a rant. I've seen you rant and it gets really ugly. That wasn't a rant.
Well, I'm not as mad.
No. My turn. I've been quiet. I'm gonna talk about the offense and the shit later. But in reference to Mr. Keck's defensive stuff, and everybody in the chat is talking about how much man versus zone versus blitz. The fact of the matter is, and there's plenty of blame to go around on the coaching staff and the players. But from a defensive standpoint, I'll get to the offense. More coaching on the offense side. Defensively, I wasn't that mad at coaching our Bulls. Everybody keeps talking about zone versus blitz, this bullshit. What did you see last night, Stan? Because what I saw was a lot of fucking missed tackles. Mm-hmm. A lot. Yes, there was some.
I saw no pressure. Yeah, I saw a whole lot of
no pressure. No pressure. Cool. But from a stopping them standpoint, just make the fucking tackle. How many tackles did Cooper Kupp break? Just make the fucking tackle. They were dinking and dunking us all the way down the field. Besides a couple busted coverages down the field, everything was fucking short behind the sticks, and we could not make the tackle. That's not coaching, bro. You make the tackle, and it's fucking 3 and out, and your offense is back on the field. That's why my head's about to explode. It's you have to fucking tackle. I don't care if you're playing man, zone, goddamn Peter Puff, whatever, flag football. You have to make the fucking tackle. It's that simple. I'll let somebody else go now, and I'll address my offensive stuff later.
Listen. You're right. There were a lot of missed tackles, Latte, and I agree with about 50% of that. It was a missed tackle issue, but there were multiple times that guys were just wide open. Mm-hmm. Guys like Jared Goff and the Rams came into this game anticipating that they were going to get blitzed, and they came in with a game plan to get rid of the ball quickly, short, let their guys get in space and make plays. Wide receiver screens, little gadget, crossing routes, man beaters, those types of plays. And what does our defensive scheme come in with? Let's give them the space while attempting to blitz them to make the completions off the hot reads and those quick passes. We gave them what they wanted. That's where I have the problem is, okay, I know I'm going to blitz you. You know I'm going to blitz you. But you know what I need to do is also I need to interrupt the timing of those wide receivers. Not give them clear release as you're trying to complete it quickly. That doesn't make sense. Sure, you could blitz out of a zone scheme, but you can't pair a blitz with off coverage. If they beat you, fucking so be it, man. You got to live with that shit. But I'm not going to just let you dink and dunk down the field. Like, some of that was just open field. Stank called open wide receivers before the ball even got. He was seeing them before Goff was seeing them. And when he did finally see him, they were 12-yard chunks, 13-yard chunks. Like, these guys were wide open until we finally made an adjustment, and we basically held them in check. They got one massive drive against us for that field goal when it mattered. But for the most part, the defense stepped up and gave this offense a chance. But the offense is going to go as far as the offensive line and as far as Tom Brady goes. And I love Tom Brady, but hey, man, all three of us left there thinking Tom Brady fucking sucked last night. He sucked.
Listen, we said it last night. He sucked. You had your moment, and I said it was 50% on the coaching staff, 50% on the players. Just like you guys were sitting there seeing open receivers for the Rams, I saw open receivers for the Bucs.
I agree.
I mean, God was wide the fuck open in the end zone, in the south end zone, waving his fucking hands.
I agree.
And he missed. He missed just by a tick. Missed AB on the long ball. Brady did not look good. That's why I say it. Part of it is on coaching. Part of it is on the players. You got to execute. You got to make that. You got to make that read. You got to make that throw. It's just that simple. Whether it's dinosaur offense, whether it's boring or it's fucking stale, whatever you want to say, there were guys open. Mm-hmm. You got to make the fucking throw. Yeah. You have to make the throw. Now, from a coaching staff standpoint, and where I agree with you, and I've not been on the soapbox, you know that. Where I agree with you with Byron Leftwich, it was just as simple in this. Somebody tweeted it out last night. I saw it, and I was like, wow, how predictable and how are you forcing the issue? There was a drive where they literally, if you guys remember, they focused entirely on Mike Evans. Then there was a drive where they focused entirely on AB. Mm-hmm. Then there was a drive where they focused entirely on Godwin. It's like, why not just throw to the open guy? What the fuck is going on here? Why do we have to force it to one guy, then force it to another guy, then force it to, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? Just fuck. Stank, you go. I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
what the fuck?
There's a lot to be frustrated about. The fact of the matter is, we were in position to win the game at the end of the game, mm-hmm. Even as bad as we played in chunks. And the guy you want behind center in that situation, outside of maybe Russell Wilson, he shit the bed. And I'm not going to make any excuses for him. And BA today in his press conference said, ask Tom, and we expect more. We should expect more. That was some Jameis Winston shit. And I don't care if, oh my God, you triggered me. You said Jameis and you're only bringing Jameis. No, that's exactly what we've been seeing, been living with for the past 5 or 6 seasons. When the game is on the line, we shoot ourselves in the fucking foot. And he was off all night last night. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't know if he just has difficulty, in this offense, because there's not a whole lot of crossing routes. Everything's straight down the field. His backs can't catch the ball to save anybody's lives. Nobody. I mean, can we sign a guy off the fucking street who can catch the ball out of the backfield, please? We can't run the ball consistently. We're always behind the chains, or it's always 2nd and 9 or 3rd and 7, which is not where you want to be, especially against the defensive line like the fucking Rams, right? Mm-hmm. And Al beautifully described the shortcomings of our offensive line, which we as fans know, and trust me, so do opposing defensive coordinators. They know how to attack and expose our offensive line. They know that our run game is not good. I said it last week, and then Rojo had the big run, and that's why stats lie, because now it looks like we're efficient because that 100-yard run. Fuck all that. We know we're not a great running team, not consistently, anyways, and especially against a big physical defensive line. That's like our fucking kryptonite right now. We face teams like that, it's a problem. And knowing all that, why aren't we anticipating that we're going to struggle against that? Why isn't this coaching staff anticipating that they're going to have issues with it, and I don't know, possibly build a game plan around how we can successfully attack a line like that? So, yeah, it's frustrating on all levels. Execution, a problem. Coaching, a problem. Whoever's calling the plays, whether it's fucking Leftwich or Brady, that's a problem. There is no game flow. I tweeted it out last night that everything the Rams did came fucking easy. And when we did have our successes, it was always in the face of a corner hanging off of a receiver, or a spectacular play, and fucking Godwin beasting through guys, or Evans beasting through guys. Nothing comes easy. We don't design guys open. Nobody's ever fucking running free, and that's a coaching problem. It just is. I'm sorry. You are not designing plays to attack defensive weaknesses. You're just doing what you fucking do, and that's it. And I would love to hear, or somebody who breaks the tape, tell me or show me any different. I don't see it.
No, I mean,
well, I told you guys at the game several times. I'll make it quick. Sorry, Al.
No, it's fine.
That Rams defense, the exact opposite of what you want to do is run up the middle on them. And what did we do all night? Every time we ran, we literally compressed everything, made it, big package, and let's run at you. And it's like, no, why not spread it out? It's just banging your head against a fucking wall.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. I think we just called another wide receiver screen that didn't work. All right, go ahead. Keep on going.
Yeah.
I think
Another one. We called it another wide receiver screen. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Go ahead, Al. Sorry about that. And before you go, Al, I got a bone to pick with you, by the way. We're not going to make the playoffs. Al, relax. We're 7-4.
Yeah.
We got 5 games left. We got the Minnesota Vikings. We got Detroit. We got Atlanta twice. Take a breather, bro. Hold on. Not make.
I get what he's saying though. It's tight. It's not guaranteed, even with 10.
You know what?
To make the playoffs.
Okay, Kansas City. How do you think that's going to come out with what you've seen?
Can
they bounce back and do something?
It makes me nervous.
They could make it.
Gave me a face.
Okay.
You're about to sun me.
Okay. Then hold on here.
Minnesota and Atlanta.
You got that bye.
Detroit.
Then you got Minnesota. Minnesota is, despite the Cowboy game, has shown moments. Okay, and that's still a team that not that long ago was a pretty good football team. So I don't think that's a given. Atlanta, I don't think that they can take 2 from Atlanta. I just think when you look at the NFC South, it always comes down to, splitting a game like that. And then you have Detroit. So, can they come out of this at 3-2? If they come out of this at 3-2, then what? You're 10-6. They make the playoffs from there. But I don't see, after what I saw last night, I don't see anything guarantees that this team comes out 3-2 or better. I just don't see it. And I think Minnesota is going to be tougher than a lot of people think. I think trying to take 2 from Atlanta won't be easy. And then you've got Detroit on the road, which Detroit has come up at times this season and done some stuff. And the problem is, by losing the games that you're losing in the NFC, that's another key tiebreaker. So as this gets pushed down, and it's obvious now that you're not going to win the NFC South. So in order to get whatever playoff spot you can, you have to try to improve in those tiebreakers. And right now you're losing tiebreakers to the Rams, to Chicago. You got Minnesota coming up, who Minnesota is making a little bit of noise as to possibly putting together a run to be a wild card team. And then you have Detroit in there. I just think it's a bad combination right now. And for the first time in this season, and since they signed Tom Brady, I'm having some doubts. The
tiebreaker with the Bears probably ends up working in our favor because the Bears are losing games and they still have to play the Packers again. So as long as the Bucs can somewhat keep up with the Rams, because they automatically now will lose the Rams tiebreaker, like you mentioned. They lose to the Saints if that ever happens for whatever reason. The tiebreakers aren't in our favor, but the plays are there to be made, right? As much as we harp on the coaching, there were still plays to be made. So there has to be moments where we capitalize on our talent coming open. We just have to. And the only thing I can lean back on is that the bye week is going to be very important for this team from a coaching standpoint, in the sense that they'll get to self-scout.
When's our bye week, bro? Like week 17? When the fuck is when do we get a bye week?
We really need it. We really need it. Yeah. After a short week, they gave us a bye week. Great, thanks. So they need to self-scout. They need to see what they're doing well, what they're not doing well, and try to make this more of an offense that makes Tom feel more comfortable. Now, like, he looks uncomfortable, right? We haven't seen him look very comfortable probably in 3 games. And that's a little concerning. But what's more important is that he goes into these they go into the meetings every week and he signs off on the plays. He's signing off on the shot plays. He's signing off on every single play. And I'm sure there's a part of Tom Brady that's thinking, yeah, I can make every fucking throw. But I feel like maybe there's nobody in that room that's like, hey, Tom, you can't make this fucking throw anymore. Or we're not going to make you make this throw so many times. There's just something off, man. I don't know what it is. And again, this could just all completely go away. They come out, completely respond to this bullshit and beat the Chiefs somehow. They beat the Packers when the Packers were supposed to be a powerhouse. They pulled it off. We haven't lost 2 games in a row this season.
The Raiders beat the Packers. I mean, the Raiders beat the Chiefs. So
yeah, Raiders beat the Saints too.
It can happen.
I'm gonna put my dick on the table. I'm
too.
putting my dick right on the fucking table. I said it last night. I'm telling you, this team all year, Al, has not lost back-to-back fucking games. They came out, we're going to get fucking creamed by the fucking Packers, and they slapped. I'm putting my dick and my balls, the entire package on the table. We beat the Chiefs this week. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you. They went to the fucking brink with the Panthers. The Raiders beat them. The Chiefs are good. I'm not denying that. They're the Super Bowl champs, right? Probably the favorite to go back. But we beat them this week. I'm fucking listen.
Disagree.
Trevor said it best. The Bucs are solar powered. Tom Brady's solar powered. It's a 425 game. We have at least a solid 2 hours of sunlight. Charge them up. It's just not night game. Just no night games.
Hey, it works in our favor. We're facing a team, the Chiefs, that can't really defend anybody. Like the Panthers almost dropped 50 on our ass. Like they just don't play very well on defense. For whatever reason, John Gruden's got them figured out from his standpoint. Like he can call plays like a motherfucker against that team, but can't beat anybody else for whatever reason. But
wow, what a play caller! You guys missed that kind of play calling? Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell me about it. Listen, we've given our take.
Some callers,
and we have quite a few callers in here.
I love having Al Keck on the show. I feel like Al brings us together because we don't have any direction, and he just he's a calming presence. I feel like we needed that.
I'm your Tom Brady. How about that?
You know what you are,
and so
you know what you are.
Yeah.
You're not our Tom Brady. You're our compass on a foggy night. On a
okay.
Shit.
You're tan. You're tan. You have great hair. You are kind of like Tom Brady, bro. What the fuck?
Hey, get this, okay? You mentioned the hair. I got an email today. I've been hired to do an infomercial about hair. Just saying. So you're right on.
I like that.
You're right on. I got the hair.
I have an eye for follicle talent. That was the dumbest thing I've ever said. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said.
Wait. Before I bring in the first caller,
But
before we bring in the first caller, we got to ask Al, man. We got to ask Al the questions here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Al,
yeah,
are you wet or dry wings? And when you decide to dip them, are you going blue cheese or ranch?
No, it's blue cheese or shit.
I'm going ranch.
Fuck
I'm going ranch.
Eek.
Yeah, I'm going ranch. And I like the wet wings. I just do. So
I like the wet wings.
I like it the wet.
I don't have wings that often. So I enjoy wings, but I just don't do that a lot. But when I do, I'm a ranch guy and probably a wet guy. Yeah.
I like that.
So what's the lineup here? What are you guys talking?
This is a blue cheese podcast.
Blue cheese podcast all the way.
Oh, really? You all like the blue cheese?
Accidentally hang up on you after you said the word ranch.
Almost. That's why we said it's either blue cheese or shit. Like ranch isn't even an option. It's just blue cheese or shit.
You could listen. We've had several people pull medical exemption cards because they're afraid to say ranch. But you just came out and said it, and you know what? I commend you. You're brave.
I don't see that much. This may get me into bigger trouble. I don't see that much difference between the blue cheese and the ranch. I just don't.
I'm gonna take a caller
now.
One key ingredient. I'm not even gonna pretend you even said it. I'm gonna take a caller.
Just go to a call.
All right, let's go to the fucking calls. Hey, listen, they are fighting in the chat room.
They are.
I see people fighting in the chat room.
Just pull the string here. We're okay.
Brian Shaw, calm.
Maybe this is the way we should be. With the season.
Listen, guys. Remember, try to keep it to 90 seconds. If you got to get your rant off, That's fine. I'm going to go. First caller is going to be 647. You're on with the Loose Cannons. You're on the Red Cap Plumbing and Air Hotline. What's going on, man? Or gal?
Hello?
Yo.
What up?
Yo,
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty solid.
Oh, we're peachy. How are you doing, sir?
my dick's on the tip.
I'm good. I'm good. It's Ryan calling from Toronto, Canada.
I knew it.
I'm a wet wing guy. I have a question though. Do you guys do dill sauce in Tampa?
Fuck is that?
Dill?
What kind of Canadian
I don't know what
concoction is that?
fucking
Dill
dill
sauce.
sauce.
Dill isn't a thing? Oh, you
Uh,
guys
I mean,
gotta
we
get.
have dill pickles.
Yeah, dill pickles. Yes.
See, dill sauce up here in Canada is what we get with our wings, and it'll change your life. I'm telling you right now.
It's just dill.
Please describe what it is. Like,
Right,
I need
dill-
to hear
dill-
more about this dill sauce.
Yeah, what
It's
is this?
basically like it's like the herb, like the dill like shit.
Yeah, we know.
And it's like mixed in with like a creamy sauce, like blue cheese or ranch. Not sure which it is, but like that's what it is, and it's unbelievable. I'm telling
It's
you.
just amped up ranch. No, I'm not gonna allow it. Fuck no. No, it's blue cheese, bro. That's
No.
it.
Yeah, that sounded disgusting.
You
Hopefully,
tried-
the
you
rest of
tried
your
my-
call is better.
You tried mind fucking us. That's
Yeah.
just hyped up ranch. That's fancy ranch. No.
Fancy
Um,
ranch.
I'm sorry. I'm
No
sorry.
Canadian ranch up
Um,
in here, bro.
It's unreal. But to the Bucks. So my biggest surprise with the Bucks right now is, and what's really taken me back is how Tom hasn't taken over the offense. Like we're talking about coaching, we're talking about scheming, and we're talking about Leftwich and how shit he's been. I'm shocked that we haven't adjusted the offense to what Tom wants to do, and I'm surprised that he hasn't had more of an impact himself. Like last night, that drive, that's like, it should just be pitch and catch down the field, right? Like our whole offense should just be pitch and catch. It seems so simple with all of our weapons. Yet we try to do all this different, these screen passes, the passes to the running back. So like, that's what I'm most surprised with is that Tom hasn't, like we're talking about coaching, like Tom's 43. He might as well be a coach on the field, right? Like I can't believe he hasn't said, listen, Byron, I could care less what you're telling me to do. I know what we got to do here. And there's no way that throw to Brait at the end of the game was like the best case scenario or like the best call that we could have had. So I'm really surprised at how Tom seems to like be taking a back seat in terms of how he wants to run the offense. And if he obviously wants to, throw to a running back, which is clearly what he wants to do, which is what he's done in the past. I was talking about why the hell didn't we try to trade for like James White or one of those Patriots running backs? Like, we're pretty much Super Bowl or bust at this point. So go after whatever Brady wants. Like at the trade deadline is obviously passed, but I just wish Tom would kind of really instill what kind of offense he wants to do, because we just seem so lost on offense, and it's killing us because the defense, as poor as I think they've played, they kept us in the game last night, and that we could have easily won that, and Tom Brady wins that game. That's what I'm like. That's what's surprising is Tom Brady wins that football game last night, and then he looks like Jameis Winston. So that's just what.
Maybe not this version of Tom Brady anymore. Like Al said, maybe like we are under the impression here that we're getting MVP Tom Brady, and Tom Brady has to be MVP, and he's even capable of doing that. This team has enough talent that he doesn't need to be that guy. It's about how they put that game plan together. And like Al said, it feels like they're almost leaning on Tom to just kind of take over and do his thing. But that's like, this is like Michael Jordan with the Wizards almost. Like not quite to that extent, but there were nights when he was with the Wizards where he dropped 43 and the next night he dropped 10, right?
But I think it's more than that, Sam. I mean, if you look at how we're using the weapons we have, okay? Tom is used to having speed guys in the slot, speed receivers, running and matching up against linebackers across the middle, having quick, shifty, jitterbug backs that can catch the ball and get extra yardage out of the backfield. We don't use Scotty Miller like that. We don't use Antonio Brown like that, like they would in a New England type offense. Those guys are outside. I think we've tried to use Brown in several different ways, but for the most part, we've got our bigger, slower receivers on the inside trying to expose the middle of the field. and we don't get a whole lot of separation right off the bat. And then back to what Al said, because we have some protection issues, our guys aren't running wide open because they're not getting that type of separation he's used to seeing in a New England style offense. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way they're scheming it, and a lot of it has to do with the way we're using the talent that we have.
But considering what Al said, and I agree with him, I don't pin last night's loss on the O-line. Donovan Smith playing on one ankle. You got your starting left guard is out. Your center had to shift over. With all that being said, he had time. There was times where there was pressure, but he also had time. It wasn't that bad.
And Aaron Donald didn't register a single stat.
He didn't register a sack.
Not a sack, Christian. Not a fucking stat. Not a single stat.
Wow. That's twice in a row, by the way, we do that to him. Is the caller still there?
No, he
okay.
left.
Well, I'll ask you guys then. How would you describe the last play of the game in one word?
Jameis.
The word that comes to mind to me is greedy, because that's what it looked like to me. Brady got greedy. And listen, Al, you have a resume, but we've had an esteemed list of guests on here. We happen to have. Do you guys remember when we had Michael Silver on here?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Silver said very clearly. He said, "Why do you think he came here?" Now, he may not be, like Al said, and I agree with him, he may not be MVP version of Brady. But everybody keeps saying about Brady taking over. There's a reason, like Mr. Silver said, that Brady came here. He came here because he talked to his good buddy Peyton. He's watching what's going on. He sees these weapons. Quarterbacks want to throw the ball downfield, man. That's what they want to do. He came here because that's what he wanted to do. He didn't come down here because he wants to dink and dunk. Now, right or wrong or indifferent, that was greedy on the last play. They need to figure this shit out, like you guys said. Self-scout, figured out. But Michael Silver said it very clearly, and he's pretty collected, pretty well connected with Brady. He came here because he wanted to play in that style offense.
Well, I didn't see anything on that final play that looked like it was going to be anywhere near close to a reception. He wasn't open.
He's greedy.
He wasn't anywhere close to being accurate on the throw. And to me, it just looked like desperation at a point when you don't normally see that from Tom Brady at that point in the game, on that down, I just thought that there should have been other opportunities there. I just think that Tom Brady, again, there's a part of me that just wants to enjoy what we have here. Tom Brady is still the greatest of all time, and we get to watch the greatest of all time in his last days still have enough talent to pull off a 7-4 record. Okay. That being said, he hasn't beaten anybody that's any good, other than maybe Green Bay.
The Raiders.
Has he beaten anyone that's anyone? Well, okay, the Raiders
are a playoff team.
I'll give you that. But who else other than the Packers? They haven't. The Bears have a good defense. I guess the way I should phrase this is, in his case, he hasn't beaten anybody with a really good defense yet.
Good thing there's not that many.
It's not just him though. We haven't beat.
No, but good thing there's not that many good NFL defenses this year. There really isn't. Look at the contenders. Green Bay's defense, shoddy. Seahawks defense, non-existent. There's not a lot of great defenses in the league this year.
Saints have a good
so
defense.
Really the best thing for this team will be, and it's not going to happen, is not to win the NFC South, is to be the number one wild card team, get the NFC East in round number 1, and then just roll the dice from there. And if that's the case, then that could be the best possible outcome for this football team. My point is, you can't count on Brady to be the Brady that he was. He can still be a very good quarterback, and I'm a big Tom Brady fan. And I didn't expect me to be saying this sometime this year, but it just isn't there with this offensive line. He's got plenty of weapons, okay? He's still, I think, among the better quarterbacks in the league, but he needs help. Starts with the offensive line and going from there. I didn't like whatever the game plan was offensively. But I come from an era, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, Rocky Bleier gained 1,000 yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's got to tell you one thing. It all starts up front with that offensive line. And until the Buccaneers, and if they ever can, and it may not be until next year, when you make a change at left tackle to try to shore up this offensive line, Tristan Wirfs, I think, has done a very good job on the right side of that line as a rookie. I think he's developing, and I think it's been a good pick. And from what I've seen so far, compared to the other offensive linemen, those 4 that were out there, they got the right one. So they're going to need another one next year, and they're going to need another one with whatever that first pick is. And they've got to shore up that left side. And until that happens, you're going to have the kind of days that we're seeing against a good defensive front. And while Brady did have time at times, as you know, Sam, as you say, he was never comfortable. He was never comfortable. And there have only been a handful of times when he's been comfortable, all season. In fact, I look at there's 11 games. I looked at, he has played well in 6 of those games. He's had a so-so game in 1 of those games. He's had 4 bad games. So is that what we expected from Tom Brady? I don't think so. I really don't. That said, what would you say about Jameis, with this team at this point? I don't think you'd be anywhere near close to that, because I think Jameis still would have come up with some really dumbass interceptions.
You can't say that. You're not allowed to say that.
He can on this show.
You're crazy.
He can say whatever the fuck he wants.
Al,
Bro, you said several times, and you described in detail how you're going to put your penis and balls on the table. Keck can say whatever he wants.
Yep. Listen, Al, I have to disagree, because last night there were maybe 2 drives where I felt like the defensive line of the Rams with their front 4 really harassed us to the extent that they kind of interrupted our plays and disrupted what we were trying to do. But, I mean, obviously they stopped our run, but we ran into the teeth of their defense, like Christian said. But the biggest problem with this team on offense is that we don't have an identity. We don't know what we are. We go in and week out just throwing shit at the wall. I mean, this is a close game, right? We're down. We aren't down more than 7 at any point during this game, and we don't run the ball. We abandon the run. We don't get creative with the run, and we basically shelf our weapons on that side of the ball, right? That doesn't make sense to me. That's the problem with this team offensively, is that there's just no identity. Last year, we threw 30 interceptions, but we knew the identity. It was go out there and just fucking sling that motherfucker as far as we can and just hope it works out. And that's that's not that's not a recipe for success per se, but that was the identity, and we lived up to it. We probably went over the top.
That is fact, Sam. I know you like to hear yourself talk, but we're about to hit the hour mark. Let's take another caller, bro.
I know, man. I had to, because I
no. Freeze you out. It's a caller.
All right. We're gonna go to 808. You're on with the Loose Cannons. Give it to me.
Let me say this, Christian. You know who this is.
I know who it is.
Your favorite questionable take, man. What up, baby?
What's up, dog?
What up, guys? Corey.
You know who it is. He was in the fucking stadium. Ruined it for
Corey, listen, I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm going to apologize for everybody. It's not you, dude. Some dude has taken his son to 12 straight games, and we've lost all 12 of them. Whoever that guy is and his stupid cursed kid need to stop going to Bucs games.
Stay home.
So,
Fuck home.
So I'm not really gonna go on a rant. I've pretty much done my ranting on social media, as you guys have all seen.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I'm really gonna touch on, because everything you guys have talked about so far on the show has been spot on. Everything. Brady had a lot of time, most of the time yesterday against the Rams, but when he's under pressure, he gets rattled. And as a sure Hall of Famer, that's not what you're expecting. What you're expecting is somebody in the position that he was in yesterday, down 3, over 2 minutes to go. You're expecting him to go down the field and win the damn game. That's why you signed Tom Brady. You signed Tom Brady to be in the position to take you down the field and win the game in those type of situations. Instead, you got a Tom Brady that looked like Jameis Winston. A Tom Brady that, I don't know, the 2 interceptions that he threw yesterday, I have no idea who he was throwing to. The last one, Cam Brate was in the vicinity, but there was no Cam Brate there. Triple coverage, Cam Brate is not catching the ball. So, and both of the interceptions went to the Rams rookie Fuller, which is coincidental, I guess, because he threw it to the same area twice. The thing that gets me with Tom, in the last 4 weeks, he has regressed. Yes, we beat the Panthers, but the Panthers are a below-average team. In the last 4 weeks, on the deep ball, Tom Brady is 0 for 19. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Weeks 1 through 7, 14 for 39, 36% on completion percentage. 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So right now, the thing that I want to talk about is why are we still running a vertical-based offense when he cannot do it now? He can't do it because our receivers cannot create separation. And the only one that can create separation pretty much is Antonio Brown, and he had a gimme that went right off his hands for a touchdown almost. He would have made it to the house had he caught the ball, but no. So
Corey,
I'm not going to pin
Corey, no. That wasn't that was he was stretched out and that was off his fingertips. That wasn't an easy catch. That wasn't a gimme. There's nothing Antonio could have done to catch that ball, man. I have to disagree with you. And to tell me that these guys are not getting they are getting separation. They're not getting hit with the ball. The ball's not getting there or it's not being thrown there. Whether it's pressure, whether it's Tom reading things differently, I don't know what the fuck that is, but they are getting open on those deep routes. It's still there. And you know what, man? It's not up to us or the coaches to tell. Like, Tom is telling these guys in the meeting rooms, he's signing off on the plays. I can do this. And they're seeing him do it in practice. Yeah. If they're not seeing him do it in practice, I guarantee you they wouldn't be running it.
He's doing it in practice. Coach said it today in his press conference. 100%. And Corey, you would agree. We would all agree. Mike Evans 100%. Has never been a separation guy. But
no,
he was abusing the fuck out of him. He was in Ramsey's fucking head last night. He was.
Absolutely. Jalen Ramsey in the first quarter, he was rattled. You saw the pass interference call. You saw Mike Evans get two catches, I think, on him in the first quarter. The touchdown he scored was not on Ramsey, but he was definitely in Jalen Ramsey's head. I thought they were going to come out fighting at the end of the game. I thought those two were going to come out. Somebody was going to get a penalty.
What about the one in the north end zone where he completely got him turned around on the out route to the sideline? That was a disgusting route that set up the touchdown.
Oh, so, absolutely. He made Jalen Ramsey look silly, and Jalen Ramsey shut down DK Metcalf last week.
So I agree with you that, from the vertical offense, that you're kind of banging your head against the wall. But as a coaching staff, if your quarterback, who's a Hall of Famer, is telling you I can do it, he's doing it in practice. You got to believe it's fucking Tom Brady, right?
Latte.
Yeah.
What? I have to interject because Brian Shaw in the chat makes a good point. Brady's looking good in practice because he's throwing against our secondary. I mean,
yeah, but you're still hitting open guys. Open is open. No, open is open.
Yeah, you're right, Sam. Open is open, bro.
Oh, he hit those safeties dead in the chest. Those were beautiful passes, right?
I can't blame the coaching staff for that though, because if you're looking at it's Tom fucking Brady and he's doing it during the week, he's hitting them. You can't. What are you going to neuter the guy? I don't know. You're not going to Jameis him, right? Where you're like Dirk Cutter. We're going to run the ball 8 times in a row.
Oh my God!
What the cover says, we're just going to run it fucking 8 times in a row.
Oh my goodness!
You got to hit guys. You got to hit them.
Yeah.
Corey,
I mean, with
I
Brady,
don't want
though,
you. I don't want you in the stadium anymore, Corey.
No, it's not his fault.
It's not
the little stupid kid.
No, it's that stupid kid.
No, I don't care.
Hey, wasn't the crew in the stadium too? All right.
We were winning. We were winning until you started taking pictures of yourself in the stadium. We were
doing
fine.
Video. Here I am, guys.
We were fine.
Hey.
Listen, Corey, I got to let you go, man. I got people waiting behind you, man.
Go ahead. I want to hear what people got to say. Appreciate you letting me on.
Thank you,
sir.
Hi, beautiful.
By the way, I have an admission to make, Sammer. I've been to 2 games this year with you guys, and I've worn Loose Cannons merch. I wore a Bucking Idiot shirt, and I wore a Loose Cannon shirt. I'm going back to jerseys. this weekend against the Chiefs, I'm going back to Jersey. Something's not right with the mojo. I'm going back to Jersey.
I got you, man.
I'm going completely shirtless because fuck all my clothes. I hate.
I don't know what else to try. To be honest, I've worn everything.
By the way, I changed my mind.
See this, guys?
That'll score. That's fucking awesome.
You guys see this?
You
This
almost
is
died.
I fell down a flight of seats last night because Sammer tackled me and I got a white man injury right there. You see how fucking tan I am, bro? Look at my armpit compared to Outback.
You look like cream cheese. All right, we're gonna go 267 area code.
Cream cheese.
What is up? You're on with the Loose Cannons. 267.
267.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
What up?
Barry
What
White.
Hey, man. Appreciate it for the information, Sammer. I mean, I hit you up last night on Twitter getting your number. Just call the show.
Oh, thank you.
But, yeah, I just want to say, man, look, man, I know things is looking a little shaky right now, but look, man, we good right now. Look, we just got to make a few adjustments, especially on defense. It don't seem like we can stop the zone for nothing. I mean, not zone, but we can't stop the pass in zone. I don't know what they're doing. Sean McVay was just calling the right plays at the right times. It just looked bad for us. Jamil Dean, he got hurt. I don't know what we're going to do with him as far as next week, but he was exposed in the Giants game. Our secondary needs to step it up, man. Last night, it was just atrocious, man. I couldn't believe what I was watching, bro. Like, I hit Sammer up on Twitter immediately. I did all my ranting. And my fault, guys. I like lemon pepper chicken wings.
Oh.
I'm from Philly. I don't really do the ranch. Are y'all cool with the salt, pepper, hot sauce?
Yeah.
Because that's what we do up here at the Chinese stores.
That could fly.
But yeah, I just wanted to come on here. I mean, I know, we're not in a bad spot right now. We're 7-4. We're a playoff team, and I keep hearing the Winston talk. Listen, I'm glad Winston is gone, man. He was good for the first 4 years. The first couple years, I give him 2, throwing 4,000 yards. Our O-line wasn't the greatest. We had Donald Penn, DeMar Dotson. Jameis did what he could, man. But it wasn't working out. We got Brady now. Let him mesh with these guys. It seems like he's forcing passes to Mike Evans. It just he don't look real comfortable. Our O-line, again, they stepped up tremendously. We're with a lot of injuries, man. Our center switching over to a different position. Like, we just got to make adjustments. We'll be fine, man. It's been 13 years.
Yeah,
My name is Don. My name's Don.
Listen, we've got positivity coming from a caller, and he's from Philadelphia. That's 2020 right there. The positive caller is from Philly.
Philly, bro.
They throw snowballs like Santa Claus.
I know. Y'all
and
beat
listen,
up Santa
man.
Claus and kill the Easter Bunny.
Listen, man, I've been a Bucs fan for a very long time, man. I've been getting brutalized. Like, dude, why you like the Bucs? That's my team. That's why. That Eagles game and the last game at the first game in Lincoln Financial, loved it. But we all right, man. Like, look, give Tom Brady some time. He needs time back there, man. He's not a mobile quarterback. We all knew that. Just give him a little bit more time. He got to get his decision-making together, and we'll be fine. The defense, nobody can run on us for real.
But you sure he's not a mobile quarterback? Because I could have sworn on 4th and 1, we called a fucking sprint out to the right with Tom Brady. I could have sworn that was the play call on 4th and 1.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Hey, man, we got to listen. We got to try it. I know he had the most terrible 40 history, but look, we got to try something, man, because they got to respect us, man. And Stank, I was watching your show. I was watching the show the other day, and you had made a comment. It was like, the Bucs, they disrespect us. Like, we're the most least liked team in the league. And I'm tired of the disrespect, man. We're really good. And I got a question for Sammer, Stank, and Poppy. I keep hearing this thing about Marshawn Lattimore. Now, in you guys' opinion, does he lock up Mike Evans? Because what I'm noticing, Mike is being double teamed.
Well,
go ahead, Christian.
The Saints DBs. Listen, it's fuck the Saints 365.
Yep.
It's personal for all of us, everyone in this room. Al, it's fuck the Saints. But the Saints DBs, it's no secret, they literally I don't know if they mean coach will do it or they just do it, but they pass interfere on every goddamn snap. And they're just counting on the refs calling a couple, but they can't call it on every fucking play. Just like on offensive, defensive line of scrimmage, there's holding on every fucking play. They can't call it every damn time. Mike has had his games against Lattimore, and he's been shut down by Lattimore. It's a battle.
Listen, that defensive line makes that secondary in New Orleans look good. They have a very good defensive line rotation, period. That's where they're winning games. And DeMario Davis is a good linebacker. That's to me what makes that secondary shine. I don't think Lattimore is Champ Bailey special. I think he's a good corner. But anytime you got that kind of pressure up front, you're gonna make all your secondary shine. Back to what he said originally, obviously Brady's not mobile. Jameis was a guy who I think thrived when the plays broke down and got out of the pocket. That's where he lived. That's where he made his big plays. Those plays have been completely eliminated from this offense. We're not getting those plays anymore. Those crazy chunk, bombs because Jameis is, shrugged off 4 or 5 guys. If the play breaks down, that's it. You're not going to get anything special from Tom. So it's rough. It's rough. Yeah, obviously Tom's better within the system, but right now, not looking good.
Listen, I said it earlier. I'm hoping that they self-scout during the bye week and they make changes and they understand what's going on. They look in the mirror and, they're smart, right? They should know what's happening, right? They should know how to attack themselves when they self-scout, and they should just see it. And that's all we can hope for, is hope that happens and that Tom, just starts to click and get, because the plays are there. As much as we're bitching about shit, the plays are still there. They're there. The defense.
I got a question for all three of you guys and everybody in the chat room, and I'm serious about this.
Quick comment before your question, because it's
Go
just
ahead.
a comment. It's a one-ended comment. Sammer, if you don't turn off that lower third that is cutting off Stank's beautiful fucking face every 30 seconds,
Nobody can see my face.
I'm gonna sign the fuck off, bro. It keeps cutting off half his face and my face too. What the fuck is that? People know the number already. Stop it.
You know what he's gonna force me to do? I'm not going to be in the middle anymore, because if I'm over here, wait.
Cut off our face.
I'm over here. That's it. I'm recording from over here for now. The rest of the show.
All right.
So
I'm going to take a call now. Your questions.
No. He has to ask his question. Ask your questions, Dave.
No, come on. We got people waiting. Let's go.
Is it the fact that we have a bunch of dinosaurs in the offensive play calling room right now with Tom Moore, Bruce Arians, and Tom Brady all over the age of 70? Or I think Tom's close to it. Anyways, is that the problem here? That we're just not with the times anymore, and we're calling games out of the Pittsburgh Super Bowl era. That's the style of offense we're trying to run, and it just doesn't work anymore.
You disrespectful. What the fuck is what?
I just asked the question. I asked the question.
Let me ask you guys something. What is the one drive that they have looked good on all season long? There's only been one drive that's really stood out.
Saints opening drive of the season.
Saints opening drive. That's it. That is it. And it was like they started drawing that up the minute that Tom signed, and they just worked on that. And they haven't done anything else since then. I haven't seen the same urgency since then. And it's been so frustrating. But in my opinion, it has got to be, the guy that has got to come back and get this thing going is Ali Marpet, because we haven't seen much of anything from this offensive line since Marpet's been out. And so they've got to get Marpet back. Hopefully at that point, they can get things going. And, for Christian and Adam, you guys whining about your shot, you're starting to remind me of some of the women anchors that I worked with, over the years on TV, all whining about the lighting and whining about, the shot that they have and whether or not it's ranch or blue cheese. Just a lot of whining going on.
I was with you until you attacked my blue cheese.
Don't attack the blue cheese
all the way. I love it, by the way, Al.
Listen, that's because Al feels confident to say that because Sammer hasn't been like, Al, you need to straighten up and sit. Al is such a pro that he's fucking like changed.
Dude, hey, Al was centered the second he logged on. He was centered. I didn't have to teach him any of the shit I got to do with you guys.
He's got great posture, great hair, great skin. What are you trying to replace us? What the fuck?
You guys is plural, you son of a bitch. My framing is always perfect until you cut off half my fucking
No,
face.
now this is how
I got 3 callers waiting. I don't have time for these childish squabbles. All right? We're going to 980. I'm hoping it's this dude in the chat room, Mayan, who's been chatting up a storm, talking about how he's right and nobody knows what we're talking about.
Bring it to Mayan.
Talk to me, 908. Or don't.
Yes, this is Mayan. I called on here before.
What's up, man?
What's up, Mayan?
Listen, I'm not saying you guys is wrong. But I'm talking about the callers. Some of the callers, I don't agree with their points. But I have a question. Before they signed Tom Brady, did they watch?
Turn your radio down or show or computer.
Mute whatever you're watching.
Whatever's playing in the background.
I turned it down. That was y'all.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
We can hear you. Continue, sir.
Continue, sir.
Okay, listen. I have a question. Did they watch any film on Tom Brady before they signed him? Did they take any play calling from the New England Patriots or anything, or how the New England Patriots team was set up? Like, first off, for 20 years, 21 years plus, everybody knows if you rush Tom Brady, get him off his spot, he going to have a bad day. Everybody knows that. That's why you go get a running back that can catch out the backfield. You literally look at almost all his Super Bowls, if not all, he always had a running back. If the play broke down, he liked to get the ball out quick. Instead of having to drop back 7 steps and make another decision, he liked to just pass off to his running back. You can't do that with the Buccaneers running back. They can't catch at all to save their life. Like, they just can't catch. So you can't even – that's not even an option with the Buccaneers.
Fucking Leonard Fournette caught like 90 balls last year. So something's wrong because the guy can catch. He just can't catch here, evidently. And Rojo, and I said it at the beginning of the season, I even sent it to his coach, Coach Luke, looks terrible catching the ball. Is completely an unnatural pass catching running back. And they signed Shady McCoy with, I think, the hope that he could fill that role, but his legs are made of Jell-O pudding pops and he can no longer run anymore. So I think that they tried to do that thing, but it's hard to kind of build from scratch during COVID and get all the right pieces in one off season. I think they did the best they could. And the problem is I don't think they're utilizing once you figure out your guys just can't do that, then you got to kind of form the system to fit the player and not try to, force them to play the role that they're not good at.
Like you say, they're not using anybody to their strengths, like nobody. I'm speaking for the offense and the defense. Like, nobody is getting used to their strengths, and that's the difference between a New England-led Bill Belichick coaching staff and Josh McDaniels and a Todd Bowles, Brian Leftwich, Bruce Arians coaching staff. Because, yes, they may have less talent literally than everybody they played in the Super Bowl, except for like 1 year when they had Randy Moss. Other than that, the other opponent had more talent. But they use everybody to their strengths. They don't make people do extra stuff that they can't do. And with this team,
really, Mine, really, do they really though? Because how's that working out for them this year, Mine? Because
I'm saying when they had Tom Brady,
they started the first quarter.
Listen, if you put Josh McDaniels with this roster on offense, I promise you they don't have these struggles.
Because he has Tom Brady.
I understand that, but Josh McDaniels is a way better play calling than Brian Leftwich. What is Brian Leftwich even doing?
We agree on that.
We know that.
I agree on that, but they're not doing so hot this year. They look like shit, actually. And as a matter of fact, they ran the ball down Houston's throat, which everybody can, and then they proceeded to throw for fucking 500 yards and go away from the running game. So I'm sure.
No, I'm not saying the Patriots look good this year. No, definitely not. I'm definitely not saying. Now I'm just saying, if you put this coaching staff on the Buccaneers coaching staff, I promise you, we like 9-2. Even with all the continuity problems and the COVID issues and players in and out, or no practice camp or stuff like that, I promise you, we 9-2. A lot of the games we losing, we either beating ourselves or this stupid play calling. You're supposed to have your guys prepared and ready. We are in week 11, going into week 12. In this time of weeks, you know how teams are going to play you. They know you like to run the ball up the middle. Start surprising teams. Start doing exotic play calling, different plays. It's everything they do is predictable. I was watching the game last night. I'm like, yep, I know they about to do this. I know they about to do this call. I know they about to do everything. Just looks the same. It's like, okay, they give a rhythm. It's like, okay, this is like Tom Brady offense. They're getting it. And then the next game, they just switch it and get greedy and change the whole play calling. It's like, why are you not doing the stuff that was working for you? It's like they go back to square one. It don't even make sense to the stuff I'm seeing with this team, and they so inconsistent. And the problem is they have the talent. I just don't understand. I do understand what's the problem. It's really the coaching staff. And yes, Tom Brady has been looking bad some games, and I blame some of it on continuity. I blame some of it. He doesn't look comfortable with this offense. He never really has, to be honest. It's really when they played the teams with no defenses where he shined. You look at any game where they played a well-coached team with a defense, they don't look well. They don't look well at all.
But those are the better teams in the league.
Yeah.
I mean that's the Rams didn't blow us out. This wasn't the Saints game. We were in the game despite everything that you eloquently laid out. We were still in position to win the game. I think we put ourselves behind the 8 ball a lot of the times, but it's execution. It's everything. Everything you said is true. It's a combination of all those things.
The only thing I will disagree with is that just because you signed Tom Brady, first off, of course they looked at the film. I mean, no team's doing that. They're not just fucking hoping and praying and just blindly signing players. One, they definitely look at the film. When you sign Tom Brady, that doesn't mean you have to go out there now and teach every other offensive player a completely new system that they just spent an entire year learning. You ask Tom, can you learn this system? Also, you've been in the league forever. You're a fucking Hall of Famer. You're probably the greatest football player ever. Who am I going to lean towards learning a new offense? This guy or all my young guys that just learned the offense? I'd rather have one guy catch up than all of the other guys, all right? Then they sprinkle in some of the stuff that he likes to do. They don't have the pass catching backs, but guess what? They have fucking wide receivers and tight ends out the ass, right? So I have to disagree with you. Yes, Josh McDaniels is a better fucking play caller. Duh. That's what we've been fucking saying. But at the end of the day, we still have too much talent to not execute. And I'm not even going to touch all the other shit you said because I agreed with some of it I didn't. But I'm going to let Al give you some knowledge because Al probably knows more shit than we've ever fucking known.
Well, I think it all comes down to this. And Sammer, you put all that so very well. But, one of the questions you asked was, does this team have an identity offensively? And that's one of the problems that you're seeing with this team. And you're saying, no, it doesn't. Well, actually, it does. We're going to count on Tom Brady and depend upon Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's going to pull us out of this. And we're starting to see that while he's not as bad as a lot of people say, he's not quite at that point anymore to where he can be the focus of your entire offense and count on him to do the things that he's done in the past. He's just not there right now. And is that because of the inconsistency of the offensive line? That may have something to do with it, but we have not seen a huge performance from Tom Brady against a team with a really strong offense because he's been pressured to death and he just has not performed well against that pressure. Now, as far as the running game is concerned, so many people that I've heard are clamoring for, why don't you have Rojo in more? Why don't you Rojo this, Rojo that? If Rojo were the answer, the Buccaneers would not have signed Leonard Fournette the second that he would have become available. They knew his inconsistencies, and he's been inconsistent, and last night was a perfect example. Now, was that the easiest pass for him to catch? No, but running backs that know how to catch the football still make that play. Leonard Fournette, I haven't seen him drop passes like that ever, and he was awful as well last night. But I think the only way this team starts to get its act together is they have got to get Ali Marpet back and keep Ryan Jensen there in the middle at center, and Marpet is going to help Donovan Smith as much as he can, and they need to get back to that normalcy. Because despite the game against Carolina, we have not seen the normalcy from this team. And until that happens, I mean, Christian, you say they're going to beat Kansas City. What does everyone else say? Can they beat Kansas City?
That's not what I said. I said I'm putting my dick on the table. They're going to beat Kansas City. That's what I said. Just to be clear.
All right.
Big difference.
I agree. I agree with Populate.
By the way,
as weird as it is, I really think we could win this Chiefs game.
By the way, Sam,
we can win.
How dare you? How dare you? Maybe I misunderstood you wrong. Did you say greatest looking player or greatest football player? Because I could have sworn you said looking player. That clearly goes to Noah Spence, you son of a bitch. Don't you ever say Tom Brady.
I said he's the greatest football player ever.
Oh, I thought you said looking player. All of a sudden,
no. Noah Spence is clearly the sexiest football player.
He's one of the greatest players. I was hanging out having drinks with the greatest player in Tampa Bay Buccaneer history last night. And he seemed to think that no, actually, he didn't tell me anything at all.
Listen. Hey, somebody mentioned him in the chat room. We didn't talk about some of the positives that came out last night. How about JPP? Right, JPP.
Yeah,
holy shit,
Lord, that's how you play big time football,
right?
How about Mike Evans' grown ass man touchdown? How about Chris Godwin going fucking airborne after a grown ass man fucking broken tackle?
Dude, did you guys realize that ever since Nick Citro shamed JPP for being an amputee on Twitter,
he's catching balls left and right.
He has 2 interceptions. It's incredible.
Mr. Keck, do you follow the draft at all?
I do.
Well, the old habits die hard. I agree with you. We're going to draft the left tackle. And can we get ETN?
Well, actually, I think what they're going to do, I think,
can we get ETN here? Shit.
I think they'll probably draft a defensive lineman with that first pick, and then they'll probably try to, fill in on that offensive line from there. But they've got to address that issue. Donovan Smith just is not that.
The other issue, though, running back, ETN, is he coming here? I've been pounding the table for a fucking running back. They don't do it.
I love Jason. I love Jason Light, but if you think he's going to actually draft,
he's not going to do it.
That running back, you're crazy.
He's not going to do it. I know he's not going to do it. So why punish myself, right? But old habits die hard. I can fantasize about it now. Dream about it. We're going to get a badass running, and we're not going to do it. But ETN in this offense.
Well, you never know. He might
in this offense.
Could he slip? Could he slip to the second round?
I don't think so.
I'm not talking about the draft. I'm not talking about the draft. When we are 7-4. Okay, I'm not doing it. No. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. No. I'm gonna. We still have 3 calls.
Latte's just upset because Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be in Raymond James next week.
What are you talking about?
Yes, sir.
What? No, I don't remember his name. I've wiped it from a fucking memory.
You will never forget him. We're gonna go to 412. What's up? You're on with the Loose Cannons. 412. What's your take?
Hey guys, first time caller here, Jeremy from Boston.
Boston.
Big Tom Brady fan. And he definitely did not have a good game last night, but I don't want to overreact and keep some things in perspective. If you look at the Rams this season, last week they just played Russell Wilson, who's probably top 3 MVP candidate. He threw for 240 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, the Rams defense this year, if you eliminate the Buffalo Bills game, in the other 8 games they've played, they've given up a combined 5 passing touchdowns and no 300-yard passers. So I don't think Brady played great, but you are talking about this as a top 2 defense that has just been incredible against the pass. I also, kind of on a negative side, being a big Tom Brady fan and having watched him the last few seasons, the thing that scares me a little bit with some of these deep ball throws is if you look at how he performed in, 17, 18, and 19, the second half of the year, you could see that his arm strength was kind of waning a little bit. And it was, it's not just about velocity and being able to get the ball downfield. It seemed like to get the ball downfield, he had to force it a little bit more, which took away from some of his accuracy. So that fact kind of scares me a little bit in these coming, 5, 6 remaining games. But other than that, I still think the Bucs offense is good enough to make a deep playoff run. The thing that concerns me more with that team is the defense. I mean, I've watched them all year, and I know a lot of people on, mainstream media talk about how great the defense is. If you eliminate the Packers game, I don't think they've had a dominant game. I mean, both Saints games, they were awful. I thought the Chargers game, they were awful. The first half, yesterday they were pretty bad. The Bears game, they were average. The Giants game, they were average. The Raiders game, they were average. I mean, they really haven't had, outside of the Packers game, a dominant performance. So that's kind of the side of the ball that scares me a lot more if you're a Bucs fan.
Well, the loss of Vita Vea is really changed this offense because we can't get pressure with our front four or our front three, or really even when we blitz one, we're barely getting home. Shaq Barrett not been a real factor this season. Thankfully, we didn't overpay him in the offseason. And to go back, you gave the Rams defense a lot of credit. They didn't force either of those terrible interceptions that Tom Brady threw. Those were just bad decisions by Tom. We were at the stadium. There were neither of them made. I don't know how it looked on TV, but neither of them made any sense whatsoever. So I don't know, man.
Is the caller still there?
No, he's gone.
No, he's gone.
Stop muting him so fast because I wanted to ask him, man. We need this is like part of our coaching as well. We learn as well. Is it Tommy? Is it Thomas? Because we were saying in the stadium, I don't know. Is it go? Let's fucking go, Tommy. I don't know. What his tendencies are. What he needs to hear in the crowd.
You do know because you've heard it for the last fucking 20 years, bro. You know exactly what it's.
Yeah. So it's Tommy. It's Tommy.
It's all of those things.
Listen. I don't think this defense is horrible. I don't think they're amazing, but there's been enough moments in these games where they've done what they're supposed to do, and we just haven't come out and done what we're supposed to do on offense, right? The Saints game, that first week, I thought they played fucking good, man. They played well. Like, we should have won that game. If we don't give them 13 points off of turnovers, we win that game. The offense just didn't get it done, and we kind of, swept that under the rug. It is what it is, first week, but Al, I'm curious what you think of this defense as a whole. I know you're kind of down and low, on the secondary because they're young, but as a whole, when they're playing what we feel is their identity, which is blitzing and man press, how do you feel about this defense if they make it to the playoffs?
Well, again, I think a lot depends on who they play in the playoffs. I mean, last night this defense made Jared Goff look like Joe Montana, which I have no patience for that. And I couldn't see. I mean, you saw Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, look like Jerry Rice and whomever.
John Taylor.
So, I think a lot depends on the matchup. I think the best thing going for this team right now is to get that first wild card playoff spot, take on the NFC East in the first round of the playoffs, and then hope from there. And, you just never know. I will say this, one of you guys brought up JPP. JPP, the minute he came back from that broken neck a year ago, this franchise changed. Mm-hmm. And he gave this franchise, an attitude and, a feeling they didn't have before. And that's when their whole season started to turn around a year ago. And it's carried over this year. And, they need as much JPP as possible. I think they can beat Kansas City. Minnesota makes me a little nervous. One of the Atlanta games makes me a little nervous. And then you have Detroit in from there. So I think if they go 3-2 the rest of the way, they make the playoffs and maybe they can get that number one wild card spot. But anything less than that, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, quite honestly. And they have got to somehow, we have not seen, and I don't count the Carolina game, but we have not seen a decent performance from this football team for a while. And, really since probably the Vegas game. Mm-hmm. And so if nothing else, you would think that the law of averages would say with all this talent that they're going to start playing a little bit better because we haven't seen, like I said, the only drive to me that I've looked at and said, no, that's a drive. That is a drive, and that's what we expected to see from Tom Brady and, you know, these other weapons and everything going around was the opening drive of the season. We haven't seen it since. We really have not. So we'll see. You know, I think they can beat Kansas City. I think Minnesota is going to be a little bit tougher than a lot of people think, although they're coming off a bye week. You know, I think they will split with Atlanta, and that means you got to beat Detroit. You go 3-2, 10-6, you end up making the playoffs and go from there. But I think they're, you know, they have got to get that number one wild card spot and hopefully get their act going from there.
Yeah, I mean, pretty well put together right there. That's pretty good. That's a professional answer, folks.
That's why Al Keck is Al fucking Keck, guys.
I don't even know.
I used to watch Al Keck on my black and white TV when I was a kid.
You're that old, Al? What? You told me you were 39.
I fart dust. I am old.
You got swag, though. You got swag. You got the button open over here.
Well, that's the main thing.
I see you, bro.
Yeah. Swag. Listen,
you guys just don't know the tats I've got underneath his shirt.
You got tats?
That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got he's got a Latin king just right across his chest.
You got Thug Life right above the stomach.
Thug Life. No, he's got every Tupac tat.
On my butt. I got a thing on my butt that says grade A government inspected. That is, you know, that's just some of the stuff I got.
You fit right in, bro. Hey, make sure you send Al a bottle of baby oil.
Send him a bottle.
Yeah, we have our own. We have our own brand of baby oil, Al.
We're gonna take two more calls. So that's the Beck's baby oil. That's
good, bro, because it's about my bedtime.
Yep, we're gonna take two more calls. Next call is 941 area code. That's my neck of the woods. You're on with the loose cannons. What's
Steven?
up?
Is JC?
JC? Steven?
Hello?
What's up, man?
Who this?
What's
Who
up?
did it?
Give us the
Hey, man,
wings.
it's your brother, Sam.
Oh, it's my brother Nas.
Oh, it's your freak. I love this kid. You're gonna
No. My other brother.
Yeah.
This is the guy with the brain. Here we go. Nas.
How many fucking brothers do you have, bro?
How many brothers do you have?
Not the fatter, lazier one. Not the fatter, lazier one.
There you go. Boom.
The one that has work ethic. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. So, a couple of things, right? So, I haven't listened to the last 5 minutes because for some reason I couldn't hear you guys as I was on hold, which is weird. But starting with what Sam was saying, I completely agree with everything he's saying. So everybody else is wrong. When it comes to the coaching, Leftwich, I feel like he's coaching out of left field. Doesn't know what the fuck he's doing out there. I feel like his plays are so predictable. It's not even funny. I was watching the game yesterday, and my wife watches with me, and she doesn't know much about football, but she understands enough. And she hasn't watched really many Bucs games with me. And she said right away, like, I know right away, either they're going to snap the ball and they're going to try to launch a bomb, right? Or they're going to run right up the middle. There's no trickery at all to their offense. And it opened up my eyes, and I was like, she's absolutely right.
Nas,
the players are not being used.
Nas,
yeah.
You allow your wife to watch TV?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
Sammer says
he doesn't allow.
Yeah. His wife has actually, she gets what, 1 hour a week, you said, Sammer?
A month.
1 hour a month.
By the way, Stank, does the call not feel like a promo? I
feel like this is a planted call. Like they rehearsed this shit.
Paid for this? And
I want to agree with everything that Sammer said. Yeah, bro.
He's like, I want you to call it.
Well, I'm just
not called it late or something. Like
I like the other brother better, bro. The one that went off on Sammer. That motherfucker was like, Sammer is a fucking moron.
The pussy.
He got picked on a lot. He was the youngest one, so yeah, that happens. This is not a planned call.
No. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying I agree with everything he has to say in regards to, like, you know, what's going on, like, you know, the offensive difficulties and whatnot. There's a lot that can be harped on, but I think when you have so much fucking talent on the field, I think it's sometimes hard to put together a game plan because I feel like you have just so much opportunity. You know, just looking around, like, and also the cockiness that we have on our team is ridiculous. They walk onto the field with so much swag, right? But then when it comes time to play and show up, they don't show up. You know, so you have a Gronkowski, the guy is fucking literally a beast, right? And they're only throwing him the ball in the weirdest positions, the weirdest spots ever, right? It makes absolutely no sense to me. You have Cameron Brate, who's only just a red zone target. What the fuck is he doing on the field, first, second down, going down the field? Like, what are they doing? You know, it's so confusing and unpredictable. And like I was saying before, you know, my wife called it. It's so stupid. The way that they're playing doesn't make any sense at all. From like anybody that knows football knows that if you're going to run the ball on first down and go up the middle every fucking drive, it's going to be something the defense is going to read. Anybody can read that. You know, and at the end of the day, you have people with strengths. Like you have Mike Evans, he's a big target. You have Antonio Brown, the guy can run left and right on the field. And you have, you know, Chris Godwin, who can stretch the field. And at the same time, they're just doing the same damn plays. It pisses me off.
I agree with me so much right now. I agree with Nas so much. Oh, what? Listen, man, you called in the show first time ever, but you didn't even give us your wing preference.
Well, here's the thing. You know me, Summer. I don't fucking go with wings. Like, if I'm going to eat, like, I'm getting Popeyes. Like, I'm ordering, like, the thighs, you know, the drumsticks, and I'm dipping them bitches in hot sauce. You know what I mean?
First of all,
like I'm sitting down in front of I'm sitting down in front of the TV with a bucket, right? And I'm going ham.
I agree with you, Stan.
You're not the fat brother,
but I like.
And by the way, I like. So I'm the brother who can stretch his stomach beyond capabilities of normal humans.
Guys, I haven't told you this man once sat in front of me and ate 12 Big Macs.
That's not even humanly possible.
I saw it.
Well, that's not true.
I saw it. I saw him take a medium-sized pizza,
consume.
fold it in half, and turn it into a calzone that he ate within like a 5-minute. It's crazy. Made no sense.
And then drink half a gallon of milk.
Al Keck looks so lost and confused right now.
You can't eat 12 Big Macs without being fucking hospitalized.
He did it. I saw him do it. It was like 1 a.m, too. Listen, man, I
So
appreciate
back
the call.
to the Bucs.
I appreciate you calling in
back to the
and
Bucs.
agreeing
Back
with
to
me.
the Bucs.
I got
No,
callers.
no,
I got callers.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
We got callers.
Listen,
Man.
Nasty
listen.
nod.
Back
This
to
is
the.
your Ali.
Listen.
You muted him right when I
You
said
cut
that.
him off.
I got callers. I got to get to these guys, man. I got to get to them.
That was a paid advertisement.
That was a paid advertisement.
People that are watching right now.
He opened with, "I agree with everything Sammer said."
Did you hear? It sounded like he was reading it too. He's like, "I completely agree with everything that Sammer said."
All right, we're gonna take these last 2 callers, man, so we can get out of here. We've had Al Keck on with us for 2 hours almost. This is crazy.
I know, dude.
714, you're on. You got 90 seconds. I'm timing you. Hit me. Go. Come on.
Go. Speed call.
Okay, guys. I'm not gonna get into wings today. This is Louis from Southern California, guys. I'll try to keep it quick. You know, I've been watching the NFL for a really, really long time, and I know things have changed and things have evolved, and I know it's much more pass happy and much more offensively driven, and the defense can't really impose their will on other teams. But some things haven't changed in the NFL over the years, and they still to this day haven't changed. Controlling the clock, running the football to set up the pass, not turning over the football, being consistent, having your ball carrier like ours, like Ronald Jones, getting enough attempts from the other night, not being consistent with it enough, not making proper adjustments quick enough. The one thing I am tired of, I don't know if Mike Smith or Lovie Smith got a part-time contract to coach the defense in the first half of the last 2 games and got to coach the entire Saints game. But this first half zone defense shit really needs to stop because it's total bullshit that we play one half of terrible football on defense and then we decide to play more of our style in the second half. And what do you know? We play a lot better. I just don't understand. That's one thing I haven't really liked from the defensive point of what we've done the last few games. It seems like we're trying to either trying to disguise ourselves from what we're trying to do or trying to be more diversive. But I think we should know what we are, and we're guns ho, run into the Coliseum with a spear, blitz the shit out of them, play man defense. You know, if we're going to make mistakes, let's make them big. I'm sick of all these stupid little 10, 15-yard like little ins and slants and pickups that these receivers are getting where there's no pressure in his face with 4 guys. Even if we send the 5th guy, there's no pressure. We need to be ourselves. We're trying to be something we're not, and I'm getting really tired of it the last few games. And if we go with that zone defense shit against KC, you thought the Saints game was bad a couple days ago. It's going to be doubly worse. I still have faith in this team, and it's funny. I was actually feeling pretty comfortable playing KC this week, a few weeks ago. But KC's defense can still be had, but their offense has become a lot more balanced over the last few weeks. I've been watching them play because I knew we were going to start playing. They've become which is scary. They become much better offensively because they have balance. That's what we need. We need to try to force the run. We can't just let the defensive line pin their ears back and hit Brady a million times.
Yeah, but you know
I'm
what?
trying to stay
When
positive.
you're running
there
the
were
ball,
some good things last night.
You're running the ball
I think the
into a
one
wall.
thing I want to end this with, we need to get wide receiver one, Scotty Miller, involved again. I love Antonio. I think he can be a great addition, and they're trying to get him sparked in the offense, and he can be a big threat. But Scotty Miller was the type of receiver that Tom loves to throw to, and it seems like he's been non-existent since Antonio came in. And I'm not blaming Antonio for it's not his fault or anything like that. He needs to get involved in the offense again, though. He could have gotten
Great point. 90 seconds.
Some of those drag routes.
Sorry, we had to cut you off.
It was a great call, though.
He had his muted. Great call. And listen, he ain't wrong, Stank. Al, I would love to hear your thoughts on this because the offense has not been the same. You said since Vegas, and Vegas was the last time that Scotty Miller was heavily involved. He caught that bomb.
Well, they need to get, but we knew once they brought in Antonio Brown that the guy that was going to be the odd man out was going to be Scotty Miller.
Snake.
So, I mean, that's not surprising, but somehow, some way, they're going to have to get him involved. To me, your best player offensively is still Mike Evans, and you've got to do whatever you can, even though he's got, 8 touchdowns on the season?
9.
He has not had a Mike Evans kind of game. You've got to do what has he got? 9?
9.
So he has not had a Mike Evans kind of game. So you got to get Mike Evans to have a Mike Evans kind of game. And the only way that's going to happen is if Tom is comfortable. Tom has not been comfortable. Tom has not been comfortable since Ellie Marpet left. So that's what you got to do. Can it happen against Kansas City?
Tom's also not comfortable throwing 50-50 balls up like Jameis was to Mike Evans. He's just not.
He threw a couple yesterday to Mike like that downfield.
He threw them where he knew.
Here's my problem with those interceptions. My problem with those interceptions, and you guys were in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you guys could see there, but I'll tell you what, on TV, again, they were not close. The one to Godwin was 20 yards away, or at least 15. And then the one to Brate there late in the game, again, that was so poorly overthrown. I had to wonder if Brate did the wrong thing or whatever, and didn't matter because he wasn't even close to being open. So I don't know. They've got to.
Do you think that in the offseason, Tom Brady will also get LASIK, and then he'll blame it on his vision? I'm in my mid 40s now, and I didn't wear glasses my whole life. Brady and me are around the same age, and now I have glasses. So do you think it could be some LASIK shit?
You know what's funny?
I got LASIK at 50.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing I ever did.
There you go.
Those interceptions reminded me of a little bit what we saw last year, and then kind of what we saw in that first game. And it's interesting because they look like Tom is reading one thing, and the receivers, whether it's Brate or Mike or whoever, I can't remember exactly who I think Godwin was on first, right?
Godwin was the first one.
Yeah. So this offense has routes where at the peak of the route, they have the wide receiver and the quarterback have to see the same thing. They have to see if it's cover 2. They have to see if it's cover 4. They have to understand what they're seeing and see exactly the same thing, and that's what determines which way that route ultimately goes, right? It looked like that was what happened, but today in the press conference with Bruce Arians, he kind of insinuated that Tom was incorrect, that Tom was being confused by coverages that he's seeing, and that Tom was throwing thinking one thing, but he's actually wrong and the receiver is right, which I don't know if Bruce doesn't really kind of, play that Phil Jackson game. He's pretty straight-laced. Sometimes he says some stuff.
I don't know. He's been throwing Tom under the bus quite a bit.
I don't know if he's throwing Tom under the bus.
More so than I ever expected.
Yeah, I don't know if he's throwing Tom under the bus because Tom actually was wrong, or if he's doing that to not throw the younger guy under the bus, which, again, that still doesn't make sense either. But it's odd to me that a guy in his 20
Michael thing.
It's odd to me that a guy in his 22nd season or 21st season is not seeing coverages correctly. I find that hard to believe. It's Tom Brady. Like, this guy breathes this shit. So,
bro, LASIK. He needs some LASIK.
Maybe that.
All right,
maybe
final call.
You guys tell me that first interception looked like a punt to me. It was a
it
poorly thrown football.
Horrible.
They were terrible.
It was a poorly thrown football.
Before I was interrupted by camera, I was actually going to tell you, Al. That's what I was going to say. In the stands, it looked like a punt. It was like, where the fuck is that?
I'm not sure that he didn't kick it. Honestly, I haven't seen the tape.
Like the safety was like, wait, what?
He was.
Wasn't that
when he
that's
had
a free
the pass
kick?
that was knocked back in his face, and then he threw it again on the same play. That second pass looked like a better physical pass than the first interception trying to hit Godwin, because Godwin was 20 yards away, and the ball was underthrown about 10 yards. And again, it didn't. I mean, it was not a tight spiral. It looked like a duck.
By the way, Al,
I don't expect that from Tom Brady.
Is it a Buccaneer thing? Because that play, like I didn't see it in real time. In real time, I was like, what the fuck's going on? They saw it. I didn't see it. But when I watched the replay of it, is it a Buccaneer thing? Because that looked like a Jameis thing. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like he caught the ball and just shot-putted it into the middle of the field.
That second pass was beautiful.
Is it the Bucs or was it Jameis? What the fuck is going on?
The second pass was beautiful.
More often.
It was a fadeaway. I even heard him. I heard him say Kobe, and it was a perfect fadeaway shot right to Chris Godwin. And they gave it to us. Shit.
Semper, my favorite tweet of the night after that play, Al, Jenna Lane tweeted out, Tom Brady has now completed more passes to himself than his running backs.
Boom. And she was right at that moment too. All right. This is the last call.
Last caller.
770. This take better be great.
It'll be legendary.
What's up, guys? Corey from Nashville.
Corey,
you, God.
I know you got a lot of shit to say, Corey, but you got a minute, bro, and that's it.
Yeah. Damn. 1 minute. Okay. Well, fuck. All right, real quick, man. Hey, look. In y'all opinion, like, on some real shit, everybody's talking about, the Rams' defense is pretty good. You know, it's one of the best defenses in the league. I don't give a fuck how good their defense is if I don't hear the people's name that make it great. I didn't hear Aaron Donald's name last night. I didn't fucking hear Jalen Ramsey unless he was bitching to the refs like he was an NBA player. And what the fuck did they do in the second? Y'all were at the game, and maybe I need to go look at the all-22. Were they doubling Mike Evans in the second half?
No.
Why did he have 0 fucking targets? I didn't see him get any targets in the second half.
See, unlike us, they're able to get pressure with their front four, and so they can keep both of their safeties back and play coverage, and so that's what they were doing.
Dude, Jalen Ramsey was getting bitched by Mike Evans last night. So much so that everybody now in the media is like, oh, well, I thought some of those were offensive. Shut the fuck up. He was getting bitched. And for Mike Evans not to be the focal, like, the first interception, Mike Evans was coming wide open right underneath the dig. And I get what you're saying about the pressure, and this is why I tell every fair weather fucking Buccaneer fan that try to tell me about my motherfucking Bucs. Y'all fuck fair weather fans. Don't even go to the fucking games. Don't watch the fucking games. They got home games blacked out. So don't fucking tell me about my team. We were not a 43-year-old fucking quarterback away from being Super Bowl fucking contenders. And I got tired of people telling me that shit when I knew better. I know more than you. I know more than you. So stop trying to tell me, we're going to have Brady. I don't give a fuck about Brady because it's not Brady's fault that he's going to come in here and we're not going to be able to beat good teams. It's not going to be his fault, but you know what? Now it looks like his fault. You see what I'm saying? You see how that trickled down? Because we weren't the quarterback. We had turnovers last year. But everybody can shut the fuck up with this 30 for 30 shit. He didn't throw 30 fucking interceptions. All right? Maybe 14 to 16 were on him. He didn't sit back there and just throw 30 INTs. All right? So that I already knew from watching every single game. Fuck, we was 7-9, and games that didn't even come down to a turnover. Shit, we missed them because of kicks. We lost them because of kicks. We could have easily be fucking 10-6 last year.
Don't talk about Matt Gay.
Are we doing the Jameis thing for real, Corey?
No, Corey. Let's not do the Jameis thing, Corey.
I feel it.
We're supposed to end it good, Corey.
I feel it. I feel it though. I know what he's getting.
I wasn't done. I'm sorry. I was getting free fries from Steak and Shake. My bad. Hey, look, I'm about to leave now. I was on hold for a long time. I love y'all, man. Y'all getting so fucking popular. God damn. But look, fuck the Jameis shit. I'm just talking about where we were as a team. We weren't a 43-year-old quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl, and that's all I was saying. I firmly believe, after looking at Arians' track record with his quarterbacks in second years, the shit that we built around this season, this offseason, would have propelled us to the playoffs. But now when we switch that shit up and go get Tom Brady, now what's the narrative? It's Super Bowl. I'm sorry, it's fucking Super Bowl. He's 43. If we don't win the Super Bowl, he comes back next year at 44. Bro, we have to find a fucking quarterback. He can't play forever. So now we're looking for a quarterback again.
Corey,
I love y'all, man. I wish I had longer. I'll call in on Thursday. Before Thursday and just leave another take.
We love when you call, man, but we've already laid it out, bro. After Tom Brady, we're signing Aaron Rodgers. And then after Aaron Rodgers retires, we're signing Russell Wilson. And then after Russell Wilson retires, guess who we're signing?
I don't know. Whoa. I haven't gotten that far.
Are you talking about Clemson's quarterback?
No, Pat Mahomes. Stop it.
Yeah, on his second contract, on his third contract.
We're going to win Super Bowls on the backs of veteran quarterbacks like we did with fucking Brad Johnson, and we're going to keep fucking
Corey, you still there, Corey?
No, he's gone. Listen.
Damn. He's still third string, though, Corey.
Still third string. Listen.
Start over,
at the end of the day, at the end of this episode, we take a deep breath. We've had our therapy, right, guys? Al, we do this because this helps us live the rest of the week without wanting to smash anyone's face in that we come across, right? This is our therapy session. This is therapy for our fans, the people who watch our show, who we love, and the people who call in and chat room, all you guys, right? At the end of the day, we're 7-4. We're about to have Thanksgiving fucking dinner this Thursday, and we're not talking about the NFL draft at the fucking table. We're not talking about. You may want to because you're fucking weird, but I'm not talking about the NFL draft.
Hey, Sammer, can you do me a favor, dude? Can you do me a favor, Sammer? You know, Thursdays is football and family and food, but I don't get to hear John Madden anymore talk about Thanksgiving and turkey.
They're ducking.
Yeah. So if you could, real quick, just bless me. You know, if John was here,
it's a turkey and a duck and a chicken and a duck and a turkey. Boom, there it goes. And stuffing. Brett Favre can throw the ball 300 yards under the water. He's putting the contact back in his eye. When you cross the end zone, it's a touchdown. Boom. And then Pat
Kevin, was that Kevin or kind of sound like Kevin a little bit?
Oh man. I can't do it with a fucked up voice too either. I'm still.
No, I was still.
I gotta say this.
Close it out.
I gotta say this. Just piggybacking off of because I was gonna start with that.
Boom.
Let's get a little perspective, guys. And I'm not talking to the people that are in this esteemed video chat right now. I'm talking to the fans out there. We're 7-4.
Take a deep breath, guys.
As the great Al Keck said, we haven't seen many 7-4s. Let's get a little bit of perspective, people, because I see a lot of Bucs fans out there. I see a lot of them that sound super fucking stupid and spoiled. I expect this. I demand that. Blah, blah, blah. Bitch, we're 7-4. You can bitch, but the entitlement, this bullshit. We're 7-4.
Bro, I love how your room just gradually gets redder and redder and redder as the podcast goes on. Like you are literally in the oven right now, bro.
I turned it up with Corey. When Corey was going off, I turned it all the way up because Corey had it. He had it was hot. Now I'm hot and now it matches. But seriously, we're 7-4, bro. I've sat in that fucking stadium and thrown my money away for more 16 years.
Many years.
And we're 7-4. Like what the fuck?
We're 7-4. We're hanging out with the great Al Keck, who probably didn't expect to be on here for 2 hours. Neither did I. But
neither did I. My wife is pissed off right now.
That's fine. It's fine.
My wife is under the table. My wife is under the table massaging my legs right now. So
Al, I thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you had fun. I know this is probably weird for you at times, but it was fun for us. I'm going to let you take us out, man. Give us your final thoughts. Put these fans' minds at ease and tell everyone, hopefully take a deep breath.
Well, they're 7-4. They easily could be 9-2. This is a team that I think, quite honestly, if it can get its act together, can make the playoffs, especially if you get that number one wild card, who knows what can happen from there. And the loss against the Saints, the two losses against the Saints, again, they're just one apiece. Those are just two losses. The one against the Bears is one that's going to drive me nuts, along with this Rams loss. So what can you do against Kansas City? Hopefully you can come out and play better against Kansas City, get a win, and then come out of this thing at least 10-6. If you're 10-6, then anything can happen. I think they're going to need to come out of this 11-5 in order to get that number one wild card spot. And if they can do that and play the NFC East in round one of the playoffs, then everything that we've talked about coming into the season can truly happen. You know, they've got to figure out that Tom Brady is a good quarterback. He's not the quarterback he was. He's not the focal point of your offense. You've got to get that thing together. You've got to get Mike Evans to have a Mike Evans kind of game, which means he's been open. You got to get him the football. And you've got to get back to who you are. And those young kids in the secondary have got to grow up, because they couldn't cover anyone last night. And you're not talking the greatest wide receivers in the history of football. You're talking about Pooper Butt and Robert Woods. So there you go.
So you heard it here first, guys. Alcac has put his dick on the table too. We're beating the Chiefs. We're beating the Chiefs. All our dicks on the table.
Before we close this out, I need to hear you say "fuck the Saints."
Oh, you want me to say "fuck the Saints"?
Absolutely.
Really?
Say it again.
Because let me just make this very clear to you. I hate the fucking Saints.
Yes.
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 I love it.
That's the energy. I'm going to be eating my turkey.
Can we eat a W?
Fucking eating it and be like, Alcac hates the Saints.
Can we all eat a W for the thumbnail?
I have hated the Saints for 30 years.
I love it. Fucking love it. Fuck the Saints. Go Bucs. Hit the subscribe button, guys. We love you.
Put your dick on the table, Sammer.
And the Bucs are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs by 17. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Now let's end this deal.